The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello everyone, this is Stéphane Deras from Rakuten Aquafadas. I'm glad to be here with you today. So good morning, good afternoon, depending on which part of the globe you're in. First of all, before we start, if any one of you could tell me if you hear me well and if you can see my screen properly, just to make sure that you're all listening properly and seeing my screen. Thanks, Matteo. Thank you, Matteo, for this feedback. So glad to be with you today for this new webinar dedicated to, let's say, the experience and advices that we as Rakuten Aquafadas can give to you today on how to build the best efficient corporate apps in terms of content apps. And this is what I'm going to share with you during this 30 minutes time duration. After this session, you will receive, as usual, the slides in PDF format, so you don't need to take notes about what you will see on the screen. You will receive them after this session, as well as a video recording of this presentation. So now that you can see and hear me well, we can start finally the presentation. So I just have a few slides to share with you our, let's say, 12 years experience in building apps for our customers, but also seeing our customers building apps with our tools. So this is more like a generic session on advices, feedback from the field that we gathered for you today. And then you will see how we build such apps and contents with our tools at the end of the session as a quick live demo. So we will see that we have 5 major steps to build successful apps from what we have learned in the field from our customers. First of all, you need to define precisely the objectives you are pursuing with such mobile apps or web apps. We'll see in details what it means. Then you will have also to investigate on your context, on your capabilities, what you already have and what you don't have. So your environment, I would say. And then we will focus mainly on the app design, the content creation part, which are the main parts of your app for sure. But see how you need to engage also your users and promote this new mobile app or these new mobile apps and web apps regularly. And last but not the least, you need to naturally track and measure your app performance, see what works and what doesn't work to improve the performance in a continuous base along the way of your app lifecycle. So let's dig into the details now of each of these major steps to build a successful corporate apps. First of all, you need to define what could be clear or obvious, but you need to define your business purpose and not the technical expectation. I mean that sometimes we can hear some customers saying, we want to have a mobile app. We want to have a native app on iOS and Android. We want to communicate. We want to be on the stores and so on and so forth. But the business purpose is much more important than the means and the technical ways to achieve such a mobile such a mobile project. For instance, if you want to equip your sales staff with a sales enablement app, this is a real business purpose because you will improve the day-to-day life of your sales staff and you will bring ROI to your organization. So make sure that you define the overall objective and the complete vision of your mobility project. Then you need to define precisely your audience. So all the targets of these mobile and web apps. For sure, you have to define which kind of audience you are targeting in your organization or outside of your organization, because all of that will depend of the deployment options that you want to follow with your apps. Will it be an in-house enterprise app that you disseminate yourself with your MDM tools, for instance, on your own stores, enterprise stores? Or will it be published on the public stores like Apple iTunes Connect and Google stores? Also, you need to define which devices and mobile operating systems you're targeting with this app, because, for instance, at Rakuten Aquafadas, we can deliver apps, native apps and web apps for the most well-known operating systems on the planet. And you need also to define which devices will be used for this app dissemination, because again, an app will not behave the same way on a smartphone than on a computer or a tablet, for instance. So make sure that you try to define all of these objectives, audience and profile and deployment options, even if you don't intend to do that at the beginning, at your first launch. It's important that you write it down so that you also start creating your app and your content, envisioning all these variety of formats and devices. You also need to set up your timeline. When do you want to achieve this project? The project planning. Again, that seems obvious, but it's better to know that you want to launch your app in 3 months, 6 months, 3 weeks, than saying, okay, I want to launch it as soon as possible, because again, that will be including a lot of resources from your organization and from the vendors, for instance. You could also, it's not mandatory, but you could also define your project team along with you when you decide to launch a mobile project like this one. Be sure to locate the best user profiles in different departments, divisions of your organization if you want to make a real pilot with this project team and make sure that you fulfill the initial requirements and that you even, let's say, update them and modify them before you launch the public app. And last but not the least, it's always good, and not only for mobile projects, but always good to find internal sponsors, even a champion in your organization to help you, or maybe you are the one doing it, but to provide all the, let's say, advertising, promotional aspects of your mobile project, so that also you can gather the management staff approval for this project. And it's always better also to get your management to push such a project to the employees if, for instance, you want to build a business to employees app. So regarding the different kind of enterprise mobile apps that we as Rakuten Aquafadas deliver, or that you as a partner deliver to your own customers, we have several categories, because with these categories come different audiences, different deployment options, timelines, as we just said above. So for instance, sales enablement app to equip your sales staff with rich, engaging materials, sales materials, and an app which can also provide them with local offline content. Even when they are not connected, they will be able to present your company and your sales materials. We also see a lot of internal training onboarding apps built with our solutions at our customer sites, as well as our partners are doing them for them. We also have a lot of content marketing apps for internal and external purposes. Also, e-commerce marketplaces, because you probably know a bit of the Rakuten ecosystem. So we also have loyalty programs now with Rakuten Super Points. We also handle big communities, big fans for sports, for instance. All of that kind of apps have different, again, audiences, deployment options, and project requirements. And last but not the least, internal communication with internal magazines or external magazines, and a lot of social apps as well, social sharing and messaging. These are what we call vertical solutions built with our tools, but you can also build a complete aggregation app which could fulfill most of these services in a single kiosk or in a single app. This is what we are building now that we are part of the Rakuten ecosystem. So this is the first, let's say, step. The second step, and we will see samples at the end of this presentation. Second step is to analyze what you already have and what you can already do with your own environment. So you need to do a bit of investigation, survey of what you could build by yourself with your organization. You should start, first of all, by making an inventory of your content, or at least the content that you would like to push with such an app. It's always good to know how it's created, with which tools, where it's located, how many versions, and so on. That will help, again, to build the best workflow to publish this content to the app. Then, regarding your environment, it's good to see what internal capabilities you have in terms of resources, staff, mobile developers, tools that you probably already have in your organization, and see what they could do for you and what they couldn't as well. This seems to be obvious, but you need a budget most of the time, even if it's internal, to build your app. Then you will need, after this investigation, to determine if you want to still build your app with your internal resources, like an internal development project, or if you want to outsource it and use external vendors or partners. And based on all of that, you will find some triggers to help you to decide what is the best route to do. Like, first of all, when do you want this project to be launched? Because even if you have skills, tools in place, and resources, you will probably face some IT constraints and limitations, which we face most of the time in big organizations or even medium-sized organizations, like IT security constraints. But also, even if you already have mobile developers, are they really available, or when can they be allocated to your project? Also, you have all the skills. Maybe you wanted to build an app which is available not only for iOS, but also Android, and last but not the least, for Windows, tablets, and maybe the web as well with the same content. So does your staff has that capability and skills to operate on all the channels, all the devices, and all the operating systems? And the last question is very important about the app maintenance, because once you suppose you launch it, you develop it in-house, you will need to maintain it. And you know that the mobile operating system world is a very changing world. So you will need to update your app to fit with the regular iOS, Android updates, but also Windows updates, macOS 10 updates, and web updates. So are you prepared to handle that ongoing maintenance requirement, and also the evolution that you will need to provide to your apps, depending on your customers and users' requirements? So all of these questions you have to ask yourself if you can give answers to these questions before you decide to launch your app. And then we come to the app. So the app itself and the content within the app will have to be led, that's our experience again, will have to be led by one major focus, which is the user experience. Because even if you provide an app with all the feature set, with all the requirements that your users and yourself have been setting up, if you don't provide a good user experience, you know that this app won't be used and will be dismissed at some point. So your app will be a failure, not due to the business requirements and business features which are part of it, but mainly because it doesn't fulfill your users' requirements and the way to manipulate, to operate an app and a mobile app. Because you know that now that we have millennials, people working at companies, they bring their own device and they have very high-end expectations about the user experience and the way to use these kind of apps. So never forget that top expectation level from users. In that let's say, strategic goal, one of the very first important steps is to provide a very intuitive, smooth and fluid navigation. So that it's easy to find and locate the content that your users are looking for within the app. Use a good iconography to show the different ways to manipulate your app, to navigate through your app, and also to locate and navigate through the content itself. Provide also good help pages, assistant pages is important in an app. And I can show you again some nice customers examples at the end of this webinar. Then you can also, and you should, focus on high quality and nice looking materials. We faced sometimes customers who tells us, oh, your technology is not so good as you showed it to us at the initial step, because look at our app, it's not a nice app. It's not so nice as what you showed to us during the initial sales meetings. And we just tell them, this is exactly the same technology as we used during the initial sales meetings with you, except that you didn't provide nice looking materials inside your app. And this is your responsibility as a customer to use and provide very nice looking materials. And that's again, like the user experience, that's this kind of differentiator which will make your app a real success or could be a failure. So never underestimate the time to create with your designers, with your agencies, or the time to grab the good materials like pictures, videos from your departments and insert it in the app. This is, again, like the user experience, very important so that people like your app. Remember that you have somewhere to sell your app to your users. You can also benefit from a lot of enrichments to avoid a very flat content, but rather enhance it with scrolling zones, slideshows, buttons, videos, audio, but also games, animations. You can do all of that with our tool and some others for sure. But remember to make your content attractive, engaging, and not forcefully also to add enrichments for the purpose of adding enrichments, but adding enrichments which make sense compared to the content that you are deploying in your app. This is again very important. And last but not the least, I just said that you need to provide these materials like videos and pictures, audios, and so on. But materials, multimedia materials like audios and videos take time to produce. Sometimes you don't even have them in-house. So you need time to prepare that in the good formats. Remember, like MP3, MP4, for most of the mobile devices is a native format to use, but you need to create these videos if you don't have them yet. And that requires some time to get, again, the proper material. So never also underestimate that time to create your content. Last but not the least, once you launch your app, let me show you all these points, you need to really sell your app to your users. Even before you launch it, you need to engage your audience upfront. You need to maybe organize some internal events or external events. You need to provide marketing and communications around your new app coming up so that you prepare your audience, you engage them even before it's launched. And then through the app itself, you need to also update once you launch the app. You don't need to stay and freeze your app. You need to make it live. most of the time. That means that after the launch, you should update regularly your app storefront and your contents regularly so that it makes the impression that the content is really live and people will come back to the app several times. If you don't do that, maybe the launch will be successful, but your app will be a failure after because people won't see any new content after a few weeks, a few months, and they will just forget your app. Then, in order to make it very live, but not only live, you should mix this kind of live content with static content and your legacy content in PDF format with very rich content like the ones you could create with our InDesign plugin or our new HTML5 responsive editor. So, because you can't provide all the content in a very rich way, in a responsive way, as a live content as well, you need also to provide legacy content to your users, like brochures, like user guides, like technical documentation, like procedures, documentation that you already have. And in that case, you need to mix all of that so that it gives an impression that most of your app is very live, but still with a search feature, for instance, because we have a plain text search feature, a full text search feature that you can search for all your content, even the ones which are not in your device. This way, you can really provide a huge amount of content to your users. And for this purpose, never forget to promote regularly some specific content, highlight some specific documents, or a new version of one document that you're issuing 1 month. This way, again, it's like a website. You make it much more live. And you can remember that because you're using a native app most of the time, not only web apps, but if you use native apps, you can engage your users, your customers with push notifications, which is a very efficient way to communicate with your app users. Another and last feature you could use is the capability to reward some users, like giving a sort of incentive to your users. For instance, some of our customers are starting to do that for sales enablement apps so that it pushes their sales staff to use the sales and marketing materials within the app much more often, or even at least open them and read them and use them in the field, because some of them didn't want, and this way they will be rewarded for that. At Rakuten Aquafadas, we have for this purpose the Rakuten Super Points, which is a way to reward a user and give him some value money that he could reuse on the global Rakuten ecosystem. So this is the last part before we switch to the demo. Thank you for your patience, but these are really the advices that we use most of the time. Once you launched the app and you apply some of the advices that we just gave to you, you need also to measure your app. You need to track and analyze the way your app is used. So you should really take it as a complete dedicated channel, like your website is another channel, and make sure that you use the same analytics tree, tags the same way, so that you will this way have similar dashboards for your website and your mobile apps, for instance, because we integrate the Google Analytics, Localytics, Piwik Analytics, and soon the Rakuten Analytics in our apps. So make sure that you have a real plan to use the analytics. And this way you can watch and monitor your KPIs, the main ones about the content, the app, and how it's used by your audience. You can set up dashboards for that. And this way you'll be able to review regularly how your app and contents are really used by the field, by your audience. And this way you can get rid of the obsolete contents or the ones which don't perform. Remember that it's important to always and regularly adjust the content to your audience needs and to your users' behavior. That's what you can do thanks to the analytics. And focus mainly on enrichments, again, which bring added value to your content. Not only the shiny enrichments, which are important as well, we said it before, but make sure it has some value for your content. So this is what we propose at Rakuten Aquafadas. We have a complete set of tools which are available in our SaaS platform, and you will see them in action now in 1 minute. Just so that you know, we provide you tools so that you can create rich content in different formats. We also provide you tools so that you can generate the app itself, the native app and the web apps for the different operating systems with App Factory and Web Factory. Cloud Connect is the second pillar of our SaaS solution. It's where you will be managing the storefront of your app, as well as all the in-app messaging, push notifications, monetization of your content for the app, and the access rights as well. And last but not the least, the analytics as we have seen before. So I will stop the slideshow now and we'll switch to the demo itself. So for the demo itself, I'm going to use my iPad, which I am mirroring to my screen, so you should be able to see it now. And thanks to this iPad, I'm going to show you some apps. One of the apps I'm usually using, built with our own tools, is our own sales enablement app. So this app is built for smartphones as well as tablets and has also a web version of it that we can see after this. And this is mainly, as you can see, a canvas. The app itself is a canvas with a top bar and bottom bar that you can adjust in App Factory before you generate it. And then you have a stack of banners, which is a storefront, where you can include web banners, dynamic content, but also all your static content like this one. All these banners can be videos, web views on your website, could be links to your information system and applications, and even links to another, let's say, storefront, because you can have nested storefronts within an app. And this app, we can now consume some of the content. So we have several kinds of content that you can push in an app. The first kind of content is like PDF, very easy to push because we will convert it to our set of tools with an automated process. We can link, for instance, and synchronize with your Box account and folder. If I look at this one, which is our recent white paper built with Andreas Pfeiffer, this is a simple PDF, but you can swipe, navigate through it. We give you a flat plan and tools like that. You can see tools at the top with a search tool. You can see also bookmarks, annotations, all of these reader-like features. But even with a simple PDF, we also provide you with a guided reading feature, which is automated. For instance, if I double tap at the top right of this double page, I will be zoomed in at my zoom in scale factor, and you can see a toolbar at the bottom, which will provide you a way to navigate through the article without swiping and using your fingers on the screen. So if I click on the right one, it will automatically get me to the proper, let's say, column in the guided reading view and order. And this way you can switch even to the next page automatically. So very easy to use, and this is automated when you upload a PDF. So this is the first kind of content. You could also enrich it. How do you do that? So in that case, I'm going to show you after this demo how you enrich a PDF. But you could also use other formats, because I told you it's good to combine live content with static content, very rich content with very flat legacy content. So we have seen a static and legacy content in PDF format. You could also build very nice presentation like the ones we are using ourselves in the field with our plugin to Adobe InDesign. So you can use a lot of animations, enrichments, up to 30 enrichments to display any animations, like in that case, the different brands of Rakuten in Europe. And you can use that with many different kinds of animations. And it will show the different pillars at Rakuten, slideshows, videos, and so on. So this is a kind of presentation you could build with the Adobe InDesign plugin from Rakuten Aquafadas. And last but not the least, you can also add live content to your to your app, like the one which is there, the Agile Mobile Content, which is a full web responsive content, so a bit less shiny than the one we have seen from the InDesign plugin. But this one has the advantage to be ready and adaptive to all the ratios, all the layouts, all the devices orientations, and all the devices you are using, because this is fully web responsive content. And you can add the enrichments like videos, slideshows, but also web views. This is, for instance, a web view embedding our website. The difference being that all of this is fully adaptive. So if I reorient my iPad in a vertical way, it will show me and adapt the content as well as the enrichment the proper way. And if I come back, you can see that there is a read button. So that means that I could be disconnected now from the internet and I will still be able to consume that content. So which is very efficient for sales staff like me who are always on the road. So you have seen in that sample use case, you have seen that you can match and mix PDF with InDesign plugin. Another sample is this one, which you can have built with Adobe InDesign with scrolling zones, which is one of the best of breed enrichments you could use, interactive pie charts like this one. And all of that could be built with the different tools that are available to you. So to finish my webinar, we have just 2 minutes to show you how it works, how you create that, because it's important that you see how it works. And the first one you could use is App Factory. App Factory is a tool that enables you to generate an app without being a developer, a mobile developer. You just need to provide the name of your app, your icons, the different visual materials for your app, and then you can generate the app for iOS, for Android with this tool. Or you can export it to the simulator, as you can see at the top right of this window. And again, you don't need to be a developer for that. And once you get it in the simulator, you can see the same app available in your simulator by a simple generation made out of App Factory. So this would be the first step if you want to build the Ant Canvas. And you can modify the icons in the bottom bar. You can enable for different languages. You can add the search button if you want with App Factory. So this is the very first tool. The second and third tools that you can use are then the capabilities to create content with Cloud Offering first. So remember that PDF that we have seen within the app. This PDF has been uploaded thanks to a box synchronization. You could upload it also with this web interface. And last but not the least, you could also upload a bunch of PDF with an FTP server. Once you upload your PDF, you can use a guided reading as provided, or you can modify the order. You can see the different boxes which shows the content and also the arrows which show the workflow of the content. But you can modify it anytime with this interface. And last but not the least, you can add enrichment with this palette. Like for instance, you can add a video and then you select where you want to add it in this content. And when you will click on it, it will activate a video which can be streamed or stored within the content. So as easy as it is, and as you can see on the screen. This is for the PDF content. The second kind of content is the HTML5 responsive content that you have seen in my demo. This has been built with our new HTML5 editor, which is part of Cloud Offering as well. And you can see the preview on the left side, so that anything you type on the right side, which is the editor itself, can be previewed in the left pane. And the principle is very simple. You can add components like text, pictures, separators, videos, slideshows, web views, and soon to come other enrichments. You can build them with this editor and then push them and publish them to the app as the one we have seen. So very easy to use to build more live content and also content which is adaptive and automated in terms of responsive layout for all devices. The last and third category of content is the content that you could build with our Adobe InDesign plugin. You can see, by the way, the new beta version of our plugin available soon for Adobe InDesign 2018. And in fact, you would build a new project for smartphones or tablets or both in one orientation or dual orientation. And then once you do that, you just need to add enrichments like slideshows, audios, and videos. And this is how some of the nice content you have seen in my demo have been built. And this way, your graphic designers, your agencies can build very nice, shiny, interactive, rich content for your mobile apps without any line of code again. So this is the third way to build your content. And last but not the least, you can also modify real-time, anytime, the storefront of your app. Remember that stack of banners that we have seen before? You could modify it with this interface, which is Cloud Connect. Cloud Connect is in charge of much more things, like, as you can see in the left column, like the coupons, the push notifications, but you can also use it to modify your storefront. Suppose that I want to add a new banner at the top of my app. I can simply drag and drop one of the widgets or elements available in the right pane. When I click on it, I will set up some configuration information like the URL. Let me use, for instance, our Aquafadas URL there. And then you can say, okay, once you will display that banner, will it be displayed within the banner or as a new window? Maybe I want it to be a sticky bar at the top of my storefront. And then you simply select the visual picture that will be showing that new banner. So let me go back to my demo files and select one of my nice picture. So I'm usually using this one, which I do like, our FC Barcelona sponsorship. So I can select this one, open it, upload it to the back office, and simply save it to my Cloud Connect. As soon as it's done, all the new users launching the app will get the new banner. So if we come back now to my iPad to finish that webinar, I will show you again the app, the Sales Enablement app, which is this one. And we should see now the new banner at the top appearing. And if I tap on it, it will bring me to the Aquafadas website. So you can easily this way make your storefront very live and modify it for any event you would have in a very easy way. Again, marketeers, sales, HR, content people, authors can modify that with a simple click, as you could see, with our nice Cloud Connect interface. So this will end up now this webinar. Sorry for the delay, I'm a bit late, but now I'm gonna take your questions. So let me check now, and if some of you have to leave, I want to thank you all for attending this webinar. Again, you will receive all the slides in PDF format very soon, and also a link to the recorded video of this webinar. So let me check now if you have any questions that I could answer live. Okay, so some of you had some problems apparently to see, but it seems to be good. Okay. Okay, so yeah, some people were asking about the new plugin for Adobe InDesign. As I said, it's in beta version now. The open beta is open to some of our early adopters, and we are planning to release it by the end of April this year. So finally, you will get it. Thank you a lot for your patience. What is the difference between an AVE and HTML5 web reader feature? Yeah, in terms of enrichment. So that's a very good question from you, Andy. Thank you for asking it. As you know, we don't provide all the same level of enrichments, whatever platform you are using. If you are using a native app, you will have all of the enrichments available in an AVE format, which is our own proprietary format. And you have up to 30 enrichments available with the Adobe InDesign plugin. If you go back now to Cloud Offering and the PDF enrichment part, you have, I think, and you have seen it, I think, before, because if I show you again my screen, and if we come back to cloud offering, you can see all the enrichments. Let me close this one. You can see the main enrichments which are available for a PDF enrichment aspect. If you look at InDesign now, you have much more. You have up to 30 with all the variations of the enrichments. And when it goes down to HTML5 offering, as you could see, we have only these ones available for now: text, image, separators, videos, slideshows, and web views. We will be providing soon other enrichments, but as you know, HTML5 cannot comply with all the enrichments capabilities that we had before, so we are doing that very progressively. So there are some differences, you're right. Could you please give us timeline for publishing new plugin and similarity? Okay, so I answered this one already. Okay. Matteo, you're asking if I have any tutorial for private app building. Not yet. We are preparing video tutorials for the main features of our Aquafada suite. But if you're interested in that, I can easily help you if you give me a call or send me an email. We don't have any specific documentation for that because you can use any of the standard in-house enterprise app deployments tools and features. If you're on iOS, you can use Mac OS X Server as an MDM because there's an MDM, mobile device management platform solution inside Mac OS X Server. But you can use other very well-known MDMs on the market, like Mobile Iron, for instance, and others. And you can use also simple web page downloads. I think I have some examples there. You can easily build a web page with the different I think this one should be, yes, like this one is a very simple page which gives access to the IPA for Android, for iOS, and APK for Android, so that your mobile can go to this page and download the app. So there are very different ways to deploy and disseminate an app within an enterprise. So please give me a call or send me an email and I'll be glad to help you on that aspect. So I think I have seen most of the questions here, and I can see some greetings and thanks. So let me thank you all for attending this webinar again, and let's be connected to our website for the next events and webinar. So we wish you a very good and pleasant day, and see you soon, or talk to you soon. Bye-bye.